if you choose the cheap option to provide services for your customers or for your clients from the relationships that maybe you have built over the years, your agency is going to suffer. You're not going to be able to deliver a quality product. Hello everybody, welcome to Surge. This week we will talk about the stages that you need to go through to scale your agency. Now, Joe, we've been in business for about 14 years. Before that, I worked in another marketing agency for 2 years. We know the pain points that are involved with growing your agency and scaling your agency. It doesn't have to do with sales only. It also has to do with how you deliver, your specific checkpoints with your clients, your touch points, the results that you generate. So we will talk about some of these challenges. The first thing, or the first question that I have is, what do you think the top 3 challenges in terms of scaling an agency are?
So Duran, number 1 is not having a strong inbound sales team in place. 2, not having the right personnel that can deliver quality results. And 3 is not having your service offering pinpointed down so you know exactly what it is that you're servicing and what your true value proposition is.
Got it. Now, as an agency, you might not have a sales team. You might not have a lot of inbound leads coming in. So this is the first thing that I would focus on. Here are the questions that I would have. Are you practicing what you preach? If you're an SEO company, you need to be getting inbound leads for SEO. If you're a PPC agency, you need to be getting inbound leads doing PPC. If you cannot do this for yourself, you will not be able to do it for others. And that brings it to number 2, which is the quality of your services. You cannot say you will generate leads for me if you cannot generate leads for yourself as a marketing agency. And there are no excuses on this because we see so many SEO companies, so many marketing agencies. They say that they do marketing, but you go to their site, they have a 3-page website, no visibility whatsoever, no backlinks, no guest posts. They don't do any content. They are not on Facebook. They don't have the retargeting pixel on their website. So you can't be a marketing agency without actually doing marketing, right? And the last thing that Joe stated, very important, this is what we want to focus on in today's search session, is your services, your product offering. So let's say you are and Joe, you know that we work with different SEO agencies. Let's say you're an SEO agency. At Optimum 7, we only do SEO for e-commerce. But let's say you're an SEO agency and you need to do SEO on a medium-sized account. Let's say this is an account that gives you $5,000, $10,000 per month, and you do content for them, and you're trying to increase their rankings, increase their conversions, etc., etc. Now, we know that site speed is a big part of things. So do you have the team to actually be able to optimize for site speed? Because if you don't have the team to be able to do that, then it will be difficult for you to provide full-on services for the specific client. So with that being said, one of the best ways to scale your agency is actually to offer one-time projects that you can complete in 45 to 60 days that pay you money. And again, as an agency, it's the most difficult thing is to get reoccurring customers, right? You get a client at $5,000 a month, that adds up. It's hard to get them and to keep them. So we found out about this the hard way is you need to have one-time projects. That could be audits, that could be any kind of dev projects, web design builds, web builds, software, migration, e-commerce is a hot product. So this is very, very important for your agency because as you are ramping up that reoccurring, you need to have one-time projects. Now, Joe, the partners that we work with in terms of agencies, again, I would say 90% of them don't have these one-time products, or they don't actually offer these development projects as an upsell. Why do you think that is?
So the main reason is because they do not have the team in place to be able to take on those projects. Building that team takes 1, a lot of time, and 2, you obviously want to hire quality talent, and that's going to cost your business a lot of money. So in this case, what we recommend is partnering with another expert, another agency expert that has the track record, right? That's easy to see. One thing with hiring talent, you may not be able to see their full background, portfolio, all the things that they've done. They might not be able to practice what they preach. However, when working with an agency, you can see their portfolio, you can see their track record, the brands, the companies that they've worked with, and the results that they've been able to deliver.
So if you're a marketing agency, that means if you're an SEO agency, PPC agency, any kind of PR agency, when you get a request from a client that says, hey, I need to build this website, build this platform, I need to migrate my e-commerce site from BigCommerce to Shopify or Shopify to Magento, you have two options. Number one, you can go to Upwork, try to outsource to a professional, a one-man operation for cheap. And then you are not going to have a QA on it. You're not going to have a business analyst that breaks down the project. You're not going to have back-end and front-end engineers that are senior levels that are going to look at it from a business standpoint, not only from a development standpoint. Second option is to partner with a company like Optimum 7, where we already have a team. We have a team of 25 people who are in development, and you will basically get your hands out of that project. We will take it on for you, and we will basically build out that entire execution where you don't have to be involved, and at the end you're going to have a great product. Now, of course, there's going to be a price difference between these two projects. You know, if you outsource it on Upwork or somewhere else to a freelancer, of course it's going to be cheap, but is cheap really better? And we've seen this multiple times. We've seen prospects that come to us that who tried to outsource this to a freelancer or somebody on Upwork, and they weren't able to do this because it was too complex of a project. If you have thousands and thousands of products and design and template structure and custom functionality, you cannot migrate from Shopify to Magento by yourself. An expert company needs to do that. So going back to, you might say, what does this have to do with scaling your agency? Right? It has a lot to do with that, because if you choose the cheap option to provide services for your customers or for your clients from the relationships that maybe you have built over the years, your agency is going to suffer. You're not going to be able to deliver a quality product. So from retained client standpoint, Joe, let's talk about, again, we're talking about scalability, right? And this is why we're saying you need to be able to offer dev projects. Let's talk about other revenues that you could increase if you actually offer dev to your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And quality dev. Like you were saying, as a marketing agency, one of the most important things is client retention. So if you do have a one-off project that you upsell for dev and you go the cheap route, you now risk hurting that relationship on that MRR, on that monthly recurring revenue that they're paying you for marketing. So at the end of the day, you would rather go with a better solution where, yes, you might not make you might not have great margins on it because you're going with a much more expensive alternative. However, the quality is going to make your client now trust you and want to stay with you for that monthly residual income that you're going to start to generate for, now 10 plus years, let's say. Right. So that's the goal. The goal isn't necessarily to try to make as much money as possible on that one upsell, right? On that one dev project that you might, maybe say, let me find somebody cheap on Upwork. No, the goal is to deliver quality to your customers so that way they stay with you. In addition to that, the one-time projects that you could potentially upsell, you have site speed optimization, you have conversion optimization. If you're an e-commerce store, optimizing the checkout, custom functionality to improve the traffic and convert the traffic that you're driving through your marketing efforts. All of these are just little examples of small upsells that would make a huge difference to your marketing client.
And there's a reason why big marketing companies like VaynerMedia, Ogilvy, and a couple of others use outsource companies and outsource agencies for this type of work, because it increases, like Joe said, it increases the value of your agency. It increases your revenue because you're able to upsell. It increases your retention. You're doing a good job, and you are basically fulfilling some of the needs that they might have. Number 4, again, if you don't provide this, if somebody else says, hey, I do SEO, I do PPC, I also do dev, you run the risk of losing that client. This is very important. A lot of agency owners don't understand this. They just say, oh, we don't do that. We specialize in ABCD. Well, you might specialize in ABCD, but when your client comes to you, this is our humble opinion, you don't have the luxury to say, we don't do that, figure it out, right? You have to be consultants. You have to consult your client. You have to say, well, we don't really do that, but here is an agency, or here's somebody that we trust, that we have been working with, that do a good job on this. And if you want to see some of those great jobs that we've done, you can go on our site, you can check the case studies, you can check the testimonials, and you can check the software that we build, and it will be very clear that we have practiced what we have preached for years now. If you have any questions about scaling your agency or any other questions about development, please reach out to us, and we'll be happy to take your calls or take your emails. We'll talk to you guys next week.